everybody. Welcome back.
Hello. Happy Tuesday.
Happy to see you all.
Yes.
Thank you for being here.
I know you guys have waited a long time for this one.
Yeah, they've been wanting to see.
Yeah, we promised you we'd bring these back.
Yeah, we did.
So, I'm Paige.
I'm Cindy, and this is Mom's the Word, where Mom knows best.
Or at least she is trying her best.
And today
we are, we're backpedaling, you guys.
Yes, we are.
We are running a little bit backwards
Yes.
because of the break that we took. Mm-hmm. We did not get to release the 2 episodes of Father's Day in June. And we also did not get to address that it was Pride Month.
That's right.
So let's do a little combo, a little 2 for 1, if you will. And we are going to have Daddy Kyler, who is Jay's husband, with us today.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Kylie.
So 2 for 1.
Oh, 2 for 1.
2 daddies.
And the silk jammies, looking fancy today.
Looking like a whole meal.
Oh my God. Hi, Kyler.
Hello.
Hey.
Thanks for coming and hanging out with us.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
Yeah. We've heard Jay's side of the journey, but we have
The
never
truth.
gotten
The facts.
we've never gotten to sit down with you and just talk about what it was like to go from 0 to 4 and then to adopt officially 5 and the whole journey. So we just want to sit down and spill all the tea for us, please.
Look at Jay.
Tell us all the things about Jay.
Yeah. So first of all, did you always want kids? Because you have a lot now.
No, I did. I did always want kids.
Jay likes to tell us you did not.
Yeah, he was like,
loves to
no.
tell everyone that.
Well, he was being petty.
I was being
we had
petty.
broken up for 3 months, and when we got back together, he knew I wanted kids, and so he was still not done being petty, and so he's like, if we get back together, you just have to know that I don't want kids, and if you don't want that, that's a deal breaker. And I was like, I'm gonna convince.
I will admit.
I was like, I'm gonna convince him down the road. We don't have to worry about this right now, because it's not gonna happen anytime soon. But down the road, I'll convince him. You know.
There was honestly no convincing.
Yeah, there was
needed,
no
though.
convincing.
Like,
He
I
did want
always
kids.
wanted kids. I was just being petty with Jay. So I'm like, I'm going to get him where it hurts.
Right.
Those early stages of the relationship.
I wouldn't suggest listeners that you
Try to convince.
into
No,
convincing him.
definitely.
Not all of us can be Daddy Kyler. Not all of us. Now, y'all have 5 kids.
Yes.
5. Did you ever imagine that you would have 5?
No.
I did.
You did?
I knew
You wanted a big family?
I wanted a big family. Like, I've always wanted a big family. Did I think we would have like 5 or 6? Probably not. I was thinking more like 4.
So close
But-
in age, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we were talking about it, I wanted 2. Kyla wanted 4, and then 2 plus 4 is 5. And so, literally, that's how it happened. But I always wanted a large family as well, but I just didn't know that we were going to have that many kids. I thought that we would have children, and then we would just have a lot of chosen family friends, and we would have a family in that aspect. So, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I have so many questions.
I know,
Like, I
me
feel
too.
like
I have a lot of things.
First of all, what was your childhood like? Did you come from a big family?
No.
No. So you just like craved it because you didn't have that?
So it was always just me and my younger brother. Okay. And then we had a lot of cousins who were always like with us and stuff. So I liked that. And so from that, I always knew like I wanted a big family.
That's good. When you guys decided to become foster parents, like, does that a mutual decision? Did you guys just knew that's what you wanted to do?
So I had been thinking about it for some time since we lived in Phoenix because my boss fostered and she had adopted as well. And so when we moved to Lubbock, I told Kyla, I was like, we should foster. And we were like, yeah, I'm down. Like, we both talked about it. We wanted to help. We knew that we were able to. And we just dragged it on. Like, we called an agency and we just never sat down to do the paperwork because it's a lot of paperwork. It's a lot of things you have to do.
Yeah.
And one day we were sitting on the couch doing absolutely nothing. And I was like, go get the laptops and let's do this. And we banged out all of the paperwork. And then after that,
And by let's do this, he means Kyler do this.
No, I have to tell y'all something so funny because that's so accurate. Because the other day we're walking at the zoo and Kyler's pushing the wagon with all the kids and all this stuff, and Jay and me are walking in front and we're just like taking pictures and just like hanging out, and he turns around and goes, Kyler, hurry up.
And Jay has this distinct way he calls Kyler. And it's
Kyler.
cute. Yeah, Kyler.
Kyler.
Oh my gosh, so triggering for
what's
me.
so funny is like, so every time I go, Kyler, but I don't mean it like it's like triggering for him. Like I'm his parent or I'm like scolding him or he's getting in trouble.
Mark gets that way with
But
me.
I just do it like I'm excited. So I'm like, Kyler, Like I'm looking for him, and he's like, oh, and I'm like, oh, you're Jesus. I'm like, I didn't mean it like
I mean,
that.
I think it's nice that you can depend on him because I'm the same way with Chris. Like, I'm just like, I know that he has it. Like, I know he has it under control. Like, Kyler will be back there with all 5 kids, and me and Jay and Paige are just like, doo-doo-doo.
To be fair, Kyler and Mark were bosom buddies back there, both pushing the strollers, both talking, all the kids and everything.
Yes.
So, but he did need to hurry. I was like, come on, it's like 150 degrees. We need to get out the zoo.
Yeah.
Mark loves it because he'll be like, oh, Jay and Kyler are coming. Kyler will hold Juliet. And I'm like, they have 5 kids. You can hold Juliet.
But he does, though. Like, even Fox will gravitate towards him, and I'm like, oh, yeah, he'll hold
If
Fox.
there's one person who's going to hold Juliet, it's Amor.
Oh, my God.
my
Literally.
gosh.
Aw.
I wish, I don't show their faces, so I feel like you guys really don't get to see the bond that is
It's so
happening
cute.
between
It's
Juliet
so
and Amor.
cute. Yes.
But Amor loves her, and Juliet just thinks like, this girl is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. The way they like hold each other and hug each other, and they like stare into each other's eyes and smile. Oh, it's just so
cute.
cute.
Amor has like a maternal
She does.
instinct already because when we go to Cindy, she holds itty bitty and she's constantly trying to feed them. And we have to talk to her and be like, you don't pick up the babies. 'cause we'll
No,
turn
literally,
around
she
and
was
she'll be,
sitting
like,
next to
holding
Fox
baby.
the other day, and they're eating pizza. He wasn't eating. She like picks it up, like trying to feed it to him, and I'm just letting her go for it. Like they're
She's
little.
gonna be
I
such a
know.
good mom.
Yeah.
Sweet girl.
But anyways, I think it's interesting because a couple of years ago, you could not be foster parents in Texas and be gay.
I didn't know that.
So,
You're gay?
I'm not. He is.
I'm trisexual.
What?
But
When were you going to tell me?
Sorry.
I don't know when that changed, but I know it was very hard to get agencies and people behind gay couples because a lot of them are Christian based, a lot of them are religious, and so I think it's wonderful that you guys are very open about your journey of being foster parents and adoptive parents and gay men because not a lot of people do.
I bet that is very difficult too because I can't imagine like per se if the parents are homophobic and if they're like, I'm sorry, you placed my children with who, and if that were to become an even greater issue
Yeah.
or could cause you guys to be put in unsafe positions.
Has that happened to you guys?
So when we were looking for an agency, we literally just Googled, and whoever called us first, like literally I called all these agencies, and then whoever called us back first is who we went with. And they never asked us, and I never asked. And so like, it was just Gucci.
I will say we've had a really good experience though. Like coming from Phoenix to Texas, like I was super nervous, right? Because
Yeah.
Still
we're
nervous.
Mexican, we're gay, and we're going to Texas. And my perception of Texas was like the outskirts of Amarillo. You know what I mean? That's how I thought the entire state was.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay. But we really have had a really great experience
Yeah.
here.
That's good.
So, yeah.
So we did have a father who was concerned that his children were placed with us and we were homosexuals. And my agency and the CPS caseworker shut it down immediately. And
Good.
she just told us just to tell me because we were close, but it was never like addressed or anything. It was just like, okay, well, your children need a safe environment and they're at a safe environment. They're being taken care of. I'll provide updates. And it was nothing. I think the only other time that we actually got rejected is we were trying to get licensed for overcapacity. So in Texas, you can only have 6 children. There was our prior placement who had came over and they said, would you adopt a sibling group of 2? We were at 5 and we thought about it and we're like, we would. It was our first placement and we said yes. And so in Texas, if you have to have 6, you have to have an overcapacity license, which not everybody does it. It would require you to have 24/7 care. So meaning like Kyla would have to take the morning shift, I'd take the night shift, and we'd have to hire someone or us stay up overnight. And if they do random pop-ups, and if we were asleep or looked asleep, you would get
Oh wow! If
deemed.
both of you were asleep.
Yes,
Yeah.
someone had to be
Had
awake.
to
So
be up.
kind of like a care facility, and we were willing to do it because we love them. We still love them,
Yeah.
and so I was looking for agencies, and my agency's like, I'm trying to convince my boss. So I was like, okay. So then I started looking at other agencies, and this agency straight up told us no because we were 2 men, and they do not license gay men, and that was the first time that I was like.
Like it's not a thing. Like I've heard of it a few times here in Texas, and I think it's horrible because you guys are willing, or gay families are willing to care for children, and I
Right.
think it's like it's a hard thing. But again, Texas is a state that is very red.
Yeah, very conservative
Yes,
state.
very traditional. And so I give it to y'all because I know it's hard. And even to this day, you know, we have conversations of, you know, when we're out and things like that, and you're very aware that you are two daddies. And I just like, you're my best friend. So I'm just like, hey, let's go do this. And you're like, well, you know, this, and this. So anyways, I think it's really cool.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because, again, unless it's not your normal, then you kind of don't have it in the top of your mind. So I'll give you the example. So we were at the 4th of July fireworks, and Cindy's like, oh, you should go over there and like cuddle your man. If Chris was here, I would cuddle him. And I was like, oh, no, thank you. And then she asked me again. And then I was like, well, you know, we're in a public area. There's a lot of children. And if I go and cuddle Kyler, he doesn't like PDA as much, and I think it's just because we have to be aware of where we are. It's at home and stuff, like literally he's on me. But out in public, like let's say if I go sit down next to Kyler and I just lay my head on him, someone could say, oh my God, there's children here. How disgusting. And then they could start this whole fight. I mean, I'm ready because I stay ready. But if my children are around, I wouldn't want to do that in front of my children. I would want to make sure that they're safe. You just never know how things escalate. People in Texas are a little crazy. And
Pick your battles.
That's why I just avoid that. So we don't do PDA or anything like that because you just never know who's around and who's going to take it bad and then how it can escalate. And we're not about that life when our children are around.
And it's not something that I thought about. Like here I am as a heterosexual woman. I'm just like, oh yeah, like this is a cute moment. And then I was like, no, he's right. And I would pop off at any moment for him. But like for me, I'm just like, I am so acceptance of the gay community that it doesn't cross my mind that I'm like, oh, you can't, you know, you feel uncomfortable. But not everybody's like me.
Exactly.
It always still shocks me because I think it was 2015. I think it was the year after I got married. I got married in 2014. That was my same-sex marriage. And then we had to drive to New Mexico to get married because it was not legal in Texas. So then I think it was 2015, which is damn near 10 years ago. So it always surprises me, like whenever you see somebody who is just posting or sharing their life and they are gay, and you look at the comments and you see people who are just downright and dedicated to just hating it. And I'm like, it's 2024 and y'all are still like this. And I think because now I'm in a heterosexual relationship, I'm not as exposed to it as I was 10 years ago, but I can remember it being extremely bad then. And I always think to myself, oh, this is over. This is not like this anymore. People are growing up. And then you see the comments or you see what people, and you're like, no, there is still a group, a genre of human that is like totally against it, which I mean, you know what, to each their own whenever it comes to having your own opinion. I will say homosexuality is in every single species, even lizards, all of them, and homophobia is only found in one, and that is humans. So I'm just going to leave that there.
I mean, I would say that Kyler and I, for the most part, 98% is love. We get those 2% stragglers that want to be trolls and stuff, but we just kind of let it go because, I mean, you can't really focus on the negative. You just kind of have to keep going. But I feel like for the most part, we've been very embraced. We really haven't encountered that.
You've built a community.
Yes, well, that too. And sometimes I'm like, I think that people don't try me because they know I can go from like 0 to 100 really quick. So I also so people will be like, has anyone ever told you something in public? I'm like, no. And I'm like, maybe, you know, would be nice to release some. No, I'm just kidding. But no, we never have really encountered that. And when we go out in public, I mean, people stare, but I mean, we do have 5 children under the age of 7 now.
They're always staring.
And I think that they stare just to be curious. I don't think it's like, oh, look at these 2 homosexuals.
Or you guys get the comment, that funny story of like when you guys were together and you're like, oh, you're giving your wives a break. Like they just assume. Shut up. You're besties.
Yeah, we were at HEB and this lady thought that we had given our wives a break and came grocery shopping, and they were like, no, that's not it.
Not it.
I was thinking they were probably staring because they were like, how have they managed to get all 5 of these kids to behave like that?
Oh my gosh,
literally. The most well-behaved children I've ever been around, ever.
Yes.
Just like calm, yes ma'am, no ma'am. So sweet. Oh.
What people don't know is that before you guys had the 5 children, you guys had fostered teenagers and so many newborns.
Yeah.
Bless you. I'm dealing with the thick of teenagers right now, so bless you.
Teenagers, Lord Jesus. So Kyler loves babies. That is his favorite stage. And mine is the toddler stage. Kyler loved the baby stage, so I was like, here you go. Even with my nephews, it's toddler stage. That's what I like. Not the baby stage is just.
I think we all have a
sit
stage
there
that, like,
and do
you know, it's a little bit easier on each of us, like our personalities.
I love it all right now. It's all fun in its own different way, I think.
It is.
And they're all hard in their different ways.
Yes, yes.
No, but those sleepless nights, those are extra hard. I mean,
My kids
the
slept well,
feedings, 2,
so-
3
I think though that like
hours.
you had multiple children,
Yeah.
babies at one time. So like, because I understand that I had 2 babies at one time, 3 babies, and so that is a struggle. But when you're with just one, and you can rock and sleep with them and co-sleep. We couldn't do that as foster parents. We are not allowed to.
Well, and I had the luxury of being a stay-at-home mom that didn't have to do a whole lot of stuff around the house in the first couple of weeks
Yeah.
of having the baby. So I had the opportunity to rest during the
Yeah.
day. So I wasn't like sleep deprived in that sense because I had an irregular sleep schedule. I
Yeah.
was sleeping with the baby.
Yeah.
I think that is true because it's not like during the day we nap with the baby. We had
We
literally
had 2 full-time jobs.
Yeah, and they
we had
worked
other
full
children,
time.
you know that.
Yeah.
I
So it was
will
a
say
lot.
it was harder with Juliet because then I had a toddler who does not nap during the day. And so I'd be like, Boston, please go to sleep.
We know the struggle.
Yeah.
But what was your guys' first placement? Babies, teenagers,
No, they were toddlers.
toddlers? I'm always interested because it's like your first ever. Like
It was 6
Yeah.
and 3.
it's almost a shock.
And they came through the house like little tornadoes.
Yeah.
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 I was like, wow,
They're like
they are
new house.
just comfortable.
It was so cute. He got off the car and he's like, "Wow, I like your car. Wow, I like your house." He was just. They were adorable. I still have videos of them, and he used to sing "Baba Black Sheep." Oh my God, the cutest thing ever. They were adorable.
You guys can see we never forget any of the kids that we
No.
get to take care
I
of.
still, so I put like calendar invites, and so like the other day it was one of the kids' birthdays, and I still have their birthdays, like the twins' birthdays, and every child has, and so we look at the calendar, we're like, oh, it's their birthday, or like how iPhone does memories, and so you'll see the memories come up, and it's just
So we know Jay's kind of fatherhood and how it is for him, but did fatherhood come easy to you, Kyler? Like as those kids came to your house, did you fall into it easily?
So I feel like I did, but I have like a lot of, I don't know, I'm just very hard on myself in general. So it's even harder. Like, I just always feel like I need to do more, to be more, to be better. So
What is
that's
your
the part I
sign?
challenge with. I'm a Sagittarius.
Okay.
Is that not good? Is that good?
No, I'm just thinking about it.
Well,
When
a
he said,
friend
I
told
feel like I
me-
need to do more. It's like, which honestly doesn't feel Sagittarius to me. So I was wondering if you maybe a Virgo.
No.
No.
What are you,
friend
Jay?
told me I'm an Aries.
Yeah, it's called being married to an Aries.
A friend told me one
Maybe.
time that if you are concerned and like wondering if you are doing good with parenting, then that means that you're doing a good job. And that was Cindy who told me that because I was a little like, I think I'm very hard on myself too. But Kyler is amazing. I think that he was very natural at it. He's super calm, not all the time though. Super calm.
I've
and
never seen
chill.
him in any
Ever.
other way.
Ever.
Ever. Even whenever like y'all get on to the kids, I don't even know what's happening because he's just like
No, they're so great.
whispering and it's like over. And I'll
Has
be like,
discipline
"What
always
just
been easy like
happened?"
that?
I feel like it had, well, for me, yes, because I put my childhood into it. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, what did I not like? And I did not like being publicly like shamed
Yes.
and stuff.
Yeah.
To
Yes.
where like everyone was in it, everyone
Being
could hear it.
embarrassed, yeah.
So like with my kids, I'm trying to be very mindful. Like,
Yeah.
like even if we were in a public setting, like let's just whisper, let's be quiet, we keep it between us, handle it, and then move on.
Yes.
I think that when you become a parent, it'll definitely bring up some trauma from your own childhood, and
you don't even know
it'll
is there.
pop up, It'll pop up just randomly. And you're like, why in the world am I so upset at this? And it's like, oh, because when I was a child and I dropped milk, it was a big thing, or when this happened, it was a big thing, and so it'll come up. So for me, it was a lot of deep breaths and talking with Kyler and just understanding where that was coming from. And, there's a couple of people that I follow that help with parenting techniques, breathing techniques, just things that will help. Kyler and I constantly send each other things to continue to be better dads, right? Because it's not easy. Like parenting is not easy. There's not a manual that tells you how to do it. You'll get very overwhelmed, and it's understandable. Just take a deep breath. You're like, okay, I got this. And then if you do overreact or yell or whatever, because it's happened, then you're like, crap. And I think as a parent, it's okay to apologize to your children and teach them that and say, hey, you know what? Oh, dear.
It's like the most important thing that you can do.
Yeah,
I yelled at you. It's okay to make messes, right? Yes. And I'm like, I'm sorry. And then I'll even tell them like, hey, you need to tell me that's not nice. Don't raise your voice at me. That's not very kind. And so I'm telling the children, like, if daddy overreacts or daddy yells or whatever, say, hey, are you okay? Or I'm like, you can check it on me too, to kind of teach them that compassion as well,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah.
And it does, because I'll say, like, our 17-year-old, we've taught the same with Vance and them. Like, we've always had a very open relationship of, like, expressing your feelings, or if I'm being rude to him, he'll say, hey, like, you don't have to talk to me like that. You know, like, little things like that. And as he's gotten older, it has given us the ability to really have a great relationship and very, very good communication with each other whenever feel like we've crossed a line or we're being disrespectful, like whatever it is. Right now it's curfew.
It's good to know, though, because
Right now
you're
it's
seeing it as now he's a teenager.
Yeah.
And it does work.
Yeah.
It does
That's
work.
awesome.
Yeah.
It does. I mean, don't get me wrong. It can be difficult because we are adults, right? So we're like supposed to know everything, but this is the first time we've ever done life too.
Ever.
So it's like we're learning. And I think back to like when my stepmom was, you know, a little bit younger than me with kids, I really was like, she knows everything. Like she is like, if I need anything, my mom knows the answer. Like that's the way it is. So whenever I think about my kids relying on me like that, I'm like, I'm just a child. I just started. I'm not ready.
I'm just winging it here, guys.
What's so funny is like when you're telling me about your teenager and you're like, oh, he was past curfew. I'm like, I was being like the fun uncle, and I was like, oh, who cares? Let him stay out. and all
Imagine
that
Jay's.
stuff. But then I was thinking to myself, how am I going to be when my kids are teenagers? I'm probably like, you're
No.
late 1 minute.
Here's my thing. Curfew, right? I mean, here's my thing with it. We give and we set the curfew for safety purposes. It really isn't like if he comes home at 1:15 over 1 a.m., like is it really that big of a deal? No. I mean, yes, Vance, if you're listening, yes, it is that big of a deal. But, you know, it's not the end of the world.
Right.
The main thing is I want him home before the bars start letting out, before people start leaving the bar at a normal hour and they
I
start
didn't even
leaving
think of
around
that.
1.
I didn't even think of that.
Because
That's true.
I don't want him on the street
Yeah.
with drunk drivers. And I'm sorry, but nothing good happens after midnight for a 17-year-old boy.
Right.
What are you doing after midnight? You need to be up in your bed. Right.
is the person?
Right. Who are you hanging out with?
We
And why are,
knew ourselves at 17.
right. And why are their parents cool with you being out? Where'd you say you were going? You know what I mean? So it's
Yes.
just like after so long, you need to come home, and that is for your own safety purposes because there are other people. It's not just him I'm looking out for. It's all the other dangers that come with it. And then like the thought of him driving, y'all, is actually so terrifying. It's terrifying to like watch him get in his car and drive away because you just don't know, like, are they going to be okay? Like, is he going to be listening to the radio too loud? Is he going to be focused? Y'all, he's had this car
His
for
phone.
like 6 months. He's hit 3 things.
my
So, yeah, crumpled.
I'd be terrified.
I mean, crumpled a brick mailbox like it was nothing.
Thinking about it gives me anxiety. Like,
$1,000.
all of our kids. And all of our littles will be teenagers around the same time. My youngest, I mean, if she's with us, we don't know, but I'm counting it right now. But if she's with us, there'll be a 13-year-old all the way up to 19.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
That'll
already
be
me.
very
one.
And they will have all grown up together.
Oh, yeah,
so they're all going to be
yeah.
like, oh my God.
And I'm going to be like, oh, Jay, your kids were out past curfew?
I
They're
think
doing fine. Bear, no.
I
Fox,
think it's interesting.
no.
So as an uncle, I'm like the fun uncle. I will literally pick you up from school. I'll take you out to eat. I won't tell your parents I'm checking you out. You know, I would be the fun uncle. When my nephews, I try to be the fun uncle. Eat whatever you want, all that kind of stuff. Then when it comes to my children, I'm like, ooh, that's a little too much sugar.
I feel it's going to
Let's
be hard when
balance
all
it
of our kids are on the
out.
same age, though, because it's like sometimes, like for instance, if you're getting a Happy Meal for your kids, I have to get it for mine, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's going to be one of those things like, well, Jay lets his kids do this. And I'm like, Jay,
Yes.
if you don't. Like the
I
other
always
day.
say, I'm not their parent. I'm yours.
My
true.
Grayson told me the other day, why does Chano, my nephew, get to stay up on the iPad? I'm like, that's not my son. You are. And tablet time is over.
Yes. Yes.
Oh. My dad used to say that shit to me. God, it used to make me so irritated. I'd be like, everybody else gets to go to the party. Well, I'm not everybody else's dad.
My dad would say the same thing. And honestly, I think your curfew limit is pretty good because even when I was 18, my curfew was 9 o'clock.
Hello? I
So-
didn't even have a curfew. You just straight up weren't going.
I didn't have a curfew at all. My dad let me do whatever I wanted.
No,
he was
never.
very into his son being the alpha male who was dating all these girls.
Was he wrong?
I was not dating other girls, but he was very into that he wanted me to be like that fun young man who was an alpha male, and literally.
My
Loved
dad
it.
wanted me, this sounds so wrong. My dad wanted me to be pretty. He
You
like
are?
took me, thank
you
you. Took me to like get a tanning membership, and he would be like, you can't be too pale. Boys don't like you too pale. And he would tell me like not to cut my hair. He was like, boys like their long hair, and you have to be. And as a cheerleader, he was like, you can't have pale legs in your cheerleading uniform, and like the whole thing. So he would do that, but like. As far as going out, like I'd get grounded for like a cup in my room. Granted, I was like the kid that hid maraschino cherries in like her underwear drawer and would just like snack on
That trend that's going around reminded me of Paige now. The one that's like, I was raised by a woman who was hard to impress. This is gonna be Paige every single time. I was raised by a man who didn't let me do this, and she feels it in her chest, guys. I'm telling you, that trauma runs deep.
I do. I was gonna post one about that and this brings me to a topic that is what word am I searching for here? My brain it's not braining. Related. A related topic. Where was I going?
Take a moment.
Y'all, my brain. What were we talking about?
Maybe that'll help you.
Oh my God, it's gone. My thought is gone. This is what
It's
happens
okay. You
whenever
said you were
have
gonna make a
children.
video about.
Yes, about the whole like in your chest thing,
Yes.
that trend. And I was thinking like there's so many different things that like I could do for like my mom,
I think
right?
of her every single time I read one. I'm not even gonna lie, because I'm like, Paige, sweet.
My thought was like I was raised by a woman, like for the time that she raised me, I was raised by a woman that would leave me with men she'd just met. And like she didn't care about that. And I will say as a child, I was how do I word this to not piss y'all off? Don't be chronically online when you're listening to this, okay? I was groomed by a straight man that my dad was friends with that was a substitute teacher for the school and was like a very well-known, like great guy in the town. And I was protected by the drag queens that my mother left me with. So whenever people say things like, oh, if the kids know about the drag queens, they're being corrupted. As a child that was literally raised by drag queens, I so wholeheartedly disagree. Because all I remember about, first of all, I didn't know they were men. I didn't know they were men that dressed up like women, and I also didn't know that was different. I didn't know that was not normal. I was a kid who thought they were beautiful, and they had big hair and big boobies. They were so much fun. They would dance around. They taught me how to vogue. Like, it was everything to me to be with those people, but they protected me. And straight men did not protect me. So whenever you bring up the topic of like, what about the children? That is something I'm so passionate about because as a child who literally went through that, I would not be here if it hadn't been for the gay men that saved my life whenever I was a little girl. Because when my mom would leave for days on end, there was a man named EJ, and he would take care of me. And he, sweet EJ, he ended up in jail for some fraudulent checks, but he would.
But he was a protector.
He would call me, even like whenever I was a teenager, to talk to me, to like check in on me. And I remember him being like that person that was just so loving and caring towards me. And if you had asked me as a child about EJ, I probably would have never described him as gay because I didn't know that he was gay.
Yeah.
So, are you crying?
Well, I mean,
Sir.
First off, Kyler is the sweetest, you guys. He'll watch us cry.
I looked over and I was like,
Kyler.
oh no, no,
I
it just
love
makes me like
you.
really, like I just want to give you the biggest hug.
No, literally.
because,
I don't think people
like-
understand. Paige literally makes me like,
oh, I love y'all. I'm okay. It's the trauma made me so fun, y'all.
She's a blast. I think that
Work with the best of them.
everyone's normal is different. I think that people are like, why can't you be normal? Who's normal? Like, who decided what is normal?
Yeah.
Everyone's normal is
White men.
completely different. Everyone's normal is completely different. And so, for example, my children, they have two dads, and that's
Yeah.
what they're growing up with, right? So that is their normal. Obviously, we talk to them. They see other families, and so they see that families are completely different. And we have books that we talk about how families can be completely different. But I think that people just don't understand that. So like, oh, well, what about normal? It's like, everyone's normal is completely different. It's subjective to that person. We were all raised differently. And so based off of how you were raised, that's going to be your normal. So when you go into the world and you see people do things differently, you're like, oh, people are different. And so celebrating those differences. But people usually use the differences to divide us versus to bring us
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
and kind of more of a, hey, let's use our own strengths and opportunities, or see our different backgrounds and how can we collaborate to make life better. But it's very unfortunate, but
It is. So it's funny because you said like how you were raised is how you are. But I think like even for all of us here, like seeing gay couples as kids, you would hear people comment, older generations comment, our grandparents comment like that's not right and whatnot. We heard it, but we changed it. Like,
Yeah, we didn't accept
so like
it.
for me, I'm very like nonchalant. And I always preach this into parents because the worst thing you can do is overanalyze something for your child. For instance, my child's going to ask me questions. Mom, why is Grayson's parents two dads? And I'm like, because he has two dads.
Yeah, it's as simple
That
as
is
that.
all I do. Why is that man wearing that pretty eyeshadow? Because he wanted to. And I literally walk away from the subject. It doesn't have to be this long thing about gay marriage and all of these things. It doesn't. It's
I feel like I feel like people think that us like, oh, well, now I have to talk to them about sex and all that. It's like those.
Why would you talk to them about sex anyway?
Exactly. Those conversations. It's just a very simple answer. It's like, oh, because
Exactly.
they want to. Oh, they wanted to. Just like you picked that shirt today, you picked those shoes.
Yep.
Jay wanted to wear nails, paint his nails, or whatever the case may be. It has to be very simple, but I feel like sometimes people just overcomplicate it, and sometimes they put in their own personal beliefs or their personal feelings into it, and
it
make
doesn't
more
have to be that way.
complicated.
Even like questions, for Paige, as a mom who has a child with autism, our children are going to say, why doesn't he talk to us? And as simple as us saying, and Paige even saying, he doesn't want to, or he doesn't know how, or he doesn't, you know what I mean? It's as simple as that. I don't got to explain all of the things all of the time.
No.
Yeah,
Very
our kids
simple.
can see it. So, yeah. That's all I say.
I agree.
Don't got to be too much.
As your babies get older, do you worry that they will have hate towards them for having two dads?
I do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel like you guys will handle that as it comes forward?
Your first go-to is like,
Okay, Kyler, how would you handle it? Jay and me have the same answer.
I don't know. That's like just because I haven't been in that situation, right? So this is going to be new waters to kind of navigate through, and it's something that we're going to have to navigate together. But it does make me very nervous, a little scared, and I'm just like hoping and praying like by the time that comes, like we're in a better like world. You know what I mean? Like,
and also the way you talk to your children about it. Like if someone says something to your daughter, she'd be able to be like, I do have two dads. Like, what about it?
Oh yeah, Amore ain't taking no shit from anybody.
Even in pre-K, she told this little boy, my daddies are going to beat you and your daddy up.
Yeah.
I know,
Because he
literally.
would not
They
leave
tell
her
me
alone.
that.
I'm like,
They
oh
said,
my God.
my daddies know more than you do. And I'm like, probably.
I feel like this question could literally be answered for any parent raising a child. Right? You have to teach your children to be confident, to stand up for themselves respectfully and non-respectfully as well. I'm just kidding. You have to teach them to just speak their mind and to handle the situations, right? So we will teach them to be confident, to speak their mind, to ask for help if they need help, right? And then for them to be able to navigate that situation. And then if needed, we have to step in, right? I think our kids are on that path. They're very vocal. They know exactly what they want and they express their feelings, right? And so that's what we'll do. And then we'll navigate the more muddier situations, Kyler and I. But in general, I just want them to be very confident and sure of themselves. And if someone is trying to bully them or say something, say, no, thank you. I don't accept that. It's just that simple. Like Amor, when Grayson called her ugly the other day, I was like, are you ugly? No. I'm like, okay, then you say, no, thank you. That's not true. That's a lie. Leave me alone, please. I was like, and if they don't leave you alone, you come and tell me. And so now she's like, no, thank you. I don't accept that. And
I love
so
that. Because it does start at home. It starts at home. Yeah.
Yeah, our kids are very confident. Like they do not pass a mirror that they like do not stop and check themselves out at.
No, that's partially because of you guys, because
have
of
to
all
be
the confidence
very-
that y'all have instilled in them.
I feel like you just have to teach your children to be very confident. And I mean, technically, as the parents should be the one that build up their children and motivate them and encourage them and stuff. It's very cringy when parents tell their children things about their physical appearance or things that they're not able to change. I mean, clearly, I was called fat my whole life. So
And they hang on to it.
yeah, and you hold on to it and you process it. And like even in the Mexican community, like you say gordito, which is supposed to be a term of endearment. But you grow up and you translate that and you're like, oh, well, I was called fat my whole life. Even though they meant it from a loving place, allegedly, it still scars. And so we just try to give words of love and boost up their egos
Oh yeah,
and make them
and it
feel
works.
confident.
And it works because if you've watched my episode with my mom, we had spoke on that. I'm going to put so much confidence into you that no one's going to take that from
Yes.
you. And that's what I do to my kids. I'm going to speak into you so much that anybody doubts you. You're going to be like, they must be losing their mind.
And life is extremely hard, and there's gonna be some crazy people out there. And to me, it makes me sad that life is already hard as it is, and the world's gonna try to beat you down. And then imagine if you're getting beaten down at home, and then you go out into the world and you're getting beat down in both places, and you just don't have a safe space.
Right.
That is extremely sad. And so, yes.
Keep our home safe.
I want to know, I mean, granted, we've talked a lot about like parenthood and all the little things, but when did you meet Jay?
Oh my.
Yeah, let's take it back,
Let's
guys.
talk-
People want to know.
Let's talk about y'all.
Let's hear Kyler tell us because Jay.
Yeah, Jay's told us.
Yes, Kyler. When did you meet Jay?
I met Jay 11 years ago, almost 12 years ago. But so I had met Jay. I was just coming out of a relationship, right? So I wasn't looking for anything
I was
serious.
the rebound.
He was the rebound. And I did make that like clear with
Emotional
him.
damage.
And for whatever reason, like it didn't sink in with him, right? So like 3 weeks into it, he was like, I love you. I want to marry you. We're going to have a house in Arizona, in Texas, and in Florida. And I mean, most of that did kind of come true. Like we have kids. We had a house in Arizona. We're here
Y'all
in
weren't
Texas.
playing when you said gay people move fast. He said 3 weeks.
Lesbians
No,
move
they
faster.
call it a U-Haul. That's no shit. That's real. That's real life, y'all. Like I literally knew that girl for 3 whole weeks, moved my whole ass 6 hours away. Like that's real. I don't know what it is. There's a lot of endorphins. There's a whole lot of what's the feminine hormone? Estrogen.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of that going on, and you just are like, oh my god, I love you so much.
Let's move
I have
in.
to touch you forever. We can't be apart.
Let's scissor.
Yeah, literally. Let's bump knuckles. Like it's just not a good idea.
Oh my God.
3 weeks. He was saying he loved you.
Yes.
I believe it.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm gonna end up in the freaking basement, like chained up. Like, no, thank you. That is not my kink. So, like, we quit. Like, I quit.
Jay
I
said,
kind
"I
of
beg
ghosted
to
him.
differ."
Well, I got back with my
Together with
ex
ex.
because I
Let's
was
not-
like,
let's-
it's freaking crazy out
He
here.
decided to stop eating filet mignon and go back to liver and onions.
Okay, so he went back to his ex.
Yeah, and then we
Ouch.
were together for like maybe 6 months, and we broke up. And then I was single for a while, but I still like Jay and I would like talk occasionally. Not really.
I was
kept his
watching
mom
him
on
from the corner.
Facebook. No,
He looks sad over here. He's like, those 6 months were the worst month of my life.
can I get a shot, please? Just kidding.
He said, "I was watching from the bedroom window."
Right.
I was just
Sabotaging.
lonely waiting for him to come back.
Come back, baby reindeer.
Yeah, for real.
Have y'all seen that shit?
We told you, Jay.
That was
Martha.
the craziest, scariest thing I've
My little
ever
Martha
watched.
over here.
So we did. And so I think it was like 3 years?
Yeah, 3 years, and then we like started talking again. Like
It was his
and-
mom.
Yeah.
His mom wanted to buy a toy poodle.
Well,
for me.
technically, I wanted a toy poodle, but I didn't want. I was like, "Well, Jay will give you a discount, because y'all still talk and stuff. So just say the dog is for you."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, okay." So she did, and
he
I
came
went to
and
go
picked
pick
it
up
up.
the dog, and Jay was like,
Oh.
"Like, what the hell are you doing
Yeah.
here?" And I was like, "Hello, Chucky."
Hello, Annabelle. No, he came for the dog, and then we went out after that.
Yeah, we went to a movie, hung out, and then we just that was it. We've been together ever since.
Y'all started
Yeah.
bumping uglies after that.
I know, a little roll in the hay. Yes.
So how long were y'all together before you decided to have kids? Or to be foster parents, I should say. Because I know
it's
y'all
been-
didn't decide to adopt, but it just kind of was handed to you.
So it's been 8 years. So what, 5? No, it was like 3, 4.
What?
It happens to dads too. It happens to
It's dad
dads
birthday.
too.
For real, I had a lot of caffeine this morning. So we,
They don't
Yeah,
even
it
know the
was-
date.
yeah, for real. This is a hard question.
It was
It
a
was
couple
4
years,
years.
apparently.
Right? Before we had kids.
Yeah, it was 4 years before.
Yeah, so it took us 4 years. Then we moved to Lubbock, and that's when we started fostering. So yeah.
Very nice. Okay, tell us the age differences because we had Jay on almost a year ago. So tell us the age of your 5 children.
75433.
Yeah. So Grayson's birthday was
lot of
2 days
energy.
ago, and tomorrow's his birthday.
Party.
Just kidding.
His birthday was in July. We're filming this in August.
Oh, yeah. His birthday was a couple weeks ago.
Grayson's birthday is July 10th, and so his party's this weekend. And so it's interesting because our kids are so close in age. So right now we have 75433, but in December we'll have 75533. Isn't that wild? And then 2 weeks later, when Thalia turns 4, we'll have 75543. Then 2 weeks later, when
Wild,
Amor turns, it'll be 76543.
So I'm stockpiling presents because we have so many birthdays.
Literally.
I feel like I get a little overwhelmed when it comes to the holidays at the end, because you have Halloween, then you have Thanksgiving, then you have Ari's birthday, Christmas, and then you have Thalia, then you have Amor's birthday, and it's like, oh my god!
And then you got to fit like Itty Bitty and Fox in there because they're
Yeah. Boston, Juliet.
literally like at least some of our babies are summer babies,
Yeah, Boston's summer baby.
and Bear's a summer baby.
All of ours are from the month of December to June, and there's one every single month but May. And May is always crazy because that's always the end of the school year anyways.
Yeah.
So Mark always says like from December to June, he's very broke. And then he gets a little bit of a break.
We're the
and then
same
we're
now.
right back at it.
I never even thought of it like that. And we're 3 birthdays in June.
Oh, yeah. Y'all are all in
Goodness
June.
gracious.
Mark always says it's not fair because it goes Christmas, my birthday, Valentine's Day. So I get a lot of gifts like
Back
December,
to back to
January,
back.
February. So, and then May technically is Mother's Day. So I guess technically there's not a single month for the first 7 months that we're not
It's just so busy.
throwing
Celebrating
parties or I'm really ready for the stage of life where like there's no more baby showers.
How many kids do we all have together?
Oh my God.
I have 3. Paige has
4.
almost at 5 because you have an extra.
I have 5 right now, but by the time this airs, he will have gone home. My
Like
nephew is with me
kids.
right now.
No, 14.
No,
Bro,
literally,
That's like 12, right?
we were trying to
I
get
was having
together
kids.
the tickets for the zoo, and Mark was like, "We don't need 30 tickets." I was like, "Mark, Jade and Kyler are 7 by themselves. Like, they
We're
take up a
party.
third of the
And they
tickets."
hit the age where their kids have to have a ticket for everything.
Yes.
Like at least
So
2 of
annoying.
mine are not yet. They're still little. I'm like,
oh my
Yeah.
lord.
think about flights, Disney World. I'm like, let's just go. And Jay's like, that's a lot of kids.
Yeah, I know.
So we're going to dinner at Paige's house tonight, and I was like, well, can I get a count so I can know how much food to bring? And it's literally just our 3
Us 3
families,
families.
and it's 19. 19. I was
It's a whole
like,
party.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Well, I was like, "Why don't we just have dinner at the house instead of going out?"
It's hard finding a restaurant
Friday night at 6 p.m. for
that will
19.
take 19
Yeah,
of
it's
us.
hard to find a spot.
And
We've been
for
going to
us
the
sit
same
together.
spot.
Hard
And over
eight
half of them are
barbecue.
going to be kids.
Yeah, Hard 8 Barbecue. You want to sponsor us?
It's
Because
really good.
Shout out to y'all.
always
We
go
love you.
there. But Cindy's like, do you want to have dinner? I was like, I love Hard 8, but we've been there for like the past 4 times. Can we pick something else?
so then I'm like, where are we gonna go?
I was like, CC's Golden Corral is like the
Right.
only open seat.
A bitch loves Golden Corral, okay? I will fuck
Kyler's
it
mom.
up.
Next family night out, Golden
Kyler's
Corral.
mom.
I'm not kidding you. I'll go right now.
No,
I
let me tell
am
you.
not kidding you. I am going to be that old lady that will eat there forever.
That's my mom.
Kyler's
Forever.
mom's, that's her favorite restaurant.
Oh my
And
God,
for
I
her
would fucking buy one.
We took her to Golden Corral.
Golden Corral.
In case you were wondering, I love you so much.
She loves you.
Oh, I just love it so fucking much. You can eat so much food.
She's
You
passionate.
can eat any kind of food you want, y'all. There's Mexican food, there's pizza, there's macaroni and cheese, there's fried
Yeah,
chicken, there's tamales.
It's a buffet if
There's
y'all didn't know.
steak.
If you're not from here, it's a buffet.
Yeah.
They have pepperoni on the salad bar.
Yeah.
Like,
No, they have a chocolate bar
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
a
chocolate
fountain,
chocolate.
a fucking chocolate fountain,
and Slurpees.
and
Yes.
ice cream.
Ice cream. I mean, it's
Oh,
good.
I've never
and
been
every
there.
pie, every
We
cake.
went. Oh, the last time we went to Golden Corral was with the kids' family for
Oh,
Thanksgiving
yes.
last year. The grandma was in town and she called us if we could hang out, and so we went to Golden Corral with the children's family, and it was really nice. We took up a whole room in the back, but you know they have big rooms, so that was kind of cool, and it was a pleasant experience actually.
Jay's-
And I was shook because they paid for our meals.
Yeah, Jay,
Oh
has
my
Jay and
Lord.
Kyler have an open adoption.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask because four of the children are blood related siblings.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is their family
Yes,
that you
correct.
guys
Mhm.
extend
And,
this invite
yep.
to.
Yeah, we went out Golden Corral with the grandma, the aunt, their brother, their uncles, and their cousins, and it was actually really
Good.
nice. Mhm.
I think that's incredible.
Yes.
It's so interesting because like I try to picture it because obviously they're your children. But how that family must feel like seeing that. It's interesting that they have a relationship there, but then I think about like my family, and I have some people in my family that have been adopted because of certain situations, and I love those people that are taking care of them so much, but I still look at those children like they're ours a little bit. So that's kind of interesting. Do you feel like they kind of look at those kids like y'all are just temporary?
I feel like it's a very just tricky situation. There's a lot of emotions involved.
Yeah.
I know that when we're going to go see the family, we feel all the emotions for them.
Yeah.
And I can definitely empathize with them, with the grandmas, with the aunts, the mom, right? Because I'm sure that kind of reminds them of everything. And then they kind of like, this is where we are.
Yeah.
So I think in the beginning, it's a little awkward. It's like I tell people, it's like a relationship. You're going to have to work at it and build a relationship with them. And eventually it'll get easier where you'll just kind of be chill. And I feel like we're 80% at the chill vibe already. Like it's very, when we went out to eat for Thanksgiving, we walked in like we knew each other, and we were sitting there and just talking and conversating, and it was nice. But it does take a while to get there. But I think that it must be extremely hard for them, right? The mom, the grandma, and everything to be like, oh my God, this is kind of where we are. But we text quite a bit, and
That was
every
going to
time
be
they
my
text
next question.
they are very kind and very appreciative and show their gratitude, expressing it. Thank you so much for taking care of the children. We know that they're doing well with you guys. Send me pictures. We'll send them pictures, or we'll just talk about stuff. The grandma said she's going to come to Dallas soon. And I was like, if you come, just let us know. And, we can plan a whole event that we can hang out and go to dinner and stuff. And so
it's a hard thing to navigate. Like it's a welcomed thing, but it's like you're protecting these babies, and no one wants to cause trauma, and you don't know if it ever would. And so it's one of those things that it's like it's got to be hard to navigate for you guys. It's like your feelings. You got to sometimes put your feelings aside, and so I could see that. So it's nice to hear.
I get to have, this is new news to y'all, but once a month I get to take one of my nephews that lives locally to us now, and he's going to stay with us once a month just for like a weekend visit. Would you guys ever be open to doing that with their family if they're teenagers? My nephew's a teenager, so obviously we didn't do it whenever he was younger, but I don't know. I guess with an open type of relationship like that, eventually they may ask you guys to like go to family events and stuff.
you mean like them go without us or spend the night or anything? I think I would be open to it. I would never say never. I think that it just depends on where you are in that relationship and if you are comfortable and how it feels.
Yeah.
But I tell people all the time, you need to remove the adoption part away, remove the foster care around. So think about your child, right? With your child, whoever you introduce to your child and have your child around, you're going to make sure that it's fun, safe, respectful. It's a positive environment. And if you don't, you're going to remove them out of that situation. People get very, especially adoptive parents, will get very defensive. Like, no, this isn't good. This isn't good. This isn't good. And it's like you would do the exact same thing in any situation. If it's not safe, remove yourself. Remove your children from that situation and keep it moving. So if we ever got to a point where anyone in my children's life, Kyler and I would step aside and say, let's go. Let's exit stage left, and that's it. And so same thing with their family, right? We would embrace it. If it ever got to that point, we'd have to step back and then reach and then start over again, or who knows, eventually we might get to that point.
Yeah.
We just don't know, right? Right now we're at the point where we all hang out together and we all go and do
I love
stuff.
that. That's such a great way to think of it.
It's going great. But my tip for adoptive parents is you have to have a child-centered decision. And again, this is not even adoptive parents. If you think about a heterosexual couple who get divorced, they always weaponize the child against each other, and then they put in their personal feelings. It's like, remove yourself. What is the best interest for the child? And we believe that it is in the best interest of the children to get to know both families and for them to have both families in their lives. And then if they grow up and decide, I love them, I want both families together, perfect, we did our job. If they grow up and say, oh, I don't think I want either maybe our family or maybe their family in our lives, then that's their decision. But if you listen to adoptees, they always talk about how they were lied to. They weren't really told the truth, or adoptive parents were very defensive and didn't want them to get to know their biological family. And they felt that if they were wanting to approach their biological family, that it kind of dismissed the love that the adoptive parents had. And again, that all comes from the insecurity of the adoptive parent.
Yep. we've learned a lot from the adoptive community.
Yes.
And I think it's so important to just be super open and honest. Like, as you know, my son I adopted was very young. He's never going to know what it was like to be with his mom as a baby. And so I think it's really important. And something that I love about being friends with Jay is his kids are adopted. And so mine will see that. And I think it's an amazing thing that they're going to like, you know, they can talk to us about, oh, well, you know, Fox is adopted and they're adopted. And I think that's like just super important. And even for Paige's kids to see like that is a normal thing and that, excuse me, that we just all have to be like open and willing to just communicate. I agree with you completely about like remove yourself from the situation. Like I never even thought about it that way, but I really like that.
Well, I'm sure it just adds an extra element of difficulty because there could be the cop out from the child of that's my family, you know what I mean? And in a sense, in a baby's brain, that's what they think. But you know, you're trying to protect them from the things that could cause them harm, and that would just be scary, as they could be told anything, you know, around those types of people. So I'm glad that you guys are building that type of relationship, not just with the kids, but with you guys, it seems to.
Yeah.
I think another thing that people always say is what happens if they grow up and they want to be with that family, not with you? And it's like, again, removing it from adoptive care. Your child could grow up and decide that they want no contact with you. It's that simple. They could say, I don't like this family. I'm going to leave this family and go. It's the exact same thing, right? Could it happen? Sure. We just don't know, right? But the goal is that we're amazing. And so they're going to love us. They're going to want to be around us. Their family's going to be around us. And we will navigate it together. And
Yeah. You're just creating
And
a safe
honestly,
environment.
more love for the children, the better.
Oh, yeah.
So
I agree with that completely. Okay, Kyler. If y'all can't tell just by the episode in general which one is more quiet all the time.
They're going to be like, Jay sure does talk. I'm
Yeah.
like,
he loves to talk. So
Yeah.
I just
Kyler
I'll just
is
sit back and
always
I
watch.
relate
this
to it so much
quiet.
though, because Chris is always very quiet. So it's not like a thing.
No,
Chris and
I
Kyler
don't
are very
relate.
similar.
Yes. Chris, they'll just be together walking quietly.
Literally,
And I'm like,
Chris and Kyler are so similar, and me and Cindy are so similar because we're outgoing and all of that. And Kyler is more reserved, not all the times though.
Yeah, Mark is so
no,
like
that's the
them.
thing I was going to say with Paige is that she's actually the quieter
Totally.
one.
Yeah, I'm
with
actually
Mark.
quiet. Yeah,
Mark is hilarious.
that sweet man.
hilarious.
He just has some of the most random thoughts.
He does.
He cannot contain them. They have to be told, especially to Cindy. I mean, like if Cindy comes in the house, he won't even say hello to her. He'd be like, Cindy, I had this thing I had to tell you the other day.
Like, he has started to send me videos.
Oh my God. Why is he doing this? He's just randomly taking videos of me. Like,
You guys, I have like 7 videos of Paige, like just like doing her eyeliner, talking about something. And I'm like,
just send some to Cindy.
the other day he sent me a video about being Miss Rachel. So he loves you, Miss Rachel.
Yeah,
so,
he wants to be the new Miss Rachel.
it is
Mr. Rachel.
hilarious.
He wants to start a puppet show. He's like, this is bullshit.
That's his new endeavor. You guys, I've heard 52 endeavors.
He's
that
gonna
Mark's
have a
going-
car wash, a comedy house. He's gonna be a stay-at-home dad.
What's the thing? He's always on a side quest.
Oh yeah, he's always on a side quest.
Hustler.
Yeah, he wants passive income so bad. He
But you
just
guys,
wants
it
to
actually
stay
changed the videos now when Kyler walks up. Now he's telling Kyler everything.
Oh no, because Kyler laughs at his jokes.
Oh,
He thinks Kyler's the shit. He's like, Kyler is so much fun. He thinks I'm hilarious. And I'm like, what is fun
He is
about
funny.
him? Is it
It's
just
because they
that he
both have
thinks
dad
you're
jokes.
fun?
They have dad jokes.
Kyler and has amazing dad jokes.
Oh
He needs
my
to share
God.
them.
Oh my God, no.
Yes, he
Kyler's
is
so
I think those were
quiet
Mark.
though. Yeah, he's so quiet. So like whenever you actually catch him saying certain things, it's just so witty and funny.
Y'all can
I
see
love
it. The
people
Chucky
like that.
comment from this episode, like he has them.
They're in there. They're in there, deep in
yes.
there. But you like being a dad,
I love it.
and you like being a fiancé
I sure do.
to this one, and all of his energy.
Literally, keep it up with Jay.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, well, I love it. I thank you guys for sharing your life with everybody. I think it's important for people to see adoptive, foster, gay, parents.
Gay. Gay. I'm still so shocked. I had no idea.
Ally.
Ally.
I love it. Well, thank you for being here.
I do love me a gay man, especially one in silk.
Red silk.
Oh my goodness.
Lordy,
feel,
lordy,
Kyler?
Lou. How do you feel, Kyler? nervous still?
Good. Yeah. I mean, obviously a little nervous for sure, you know, and then these silk pajamas are so hot. Like, that's all I can kind of think about
It's like
right
I'm
now.
sweating.
I'm like, oh, God.
I know these lights in here are
Yeah.
picked up.
It's funny because Chris is at home watching their kids right now.
Very sweet.
Thank
The
you,
kids were
Chris.
very excited that Daddy Bear was going to take care of them.
That makes me laugh because I call Chris Daddy Bear around my kids. Like, I just cannot help it. I'm just like, go get Daddy Bear, go get Daddy Bear. So they hear it. And so they're like, is Daddy Bear here?
Yeah.
Like, I
and then
cannot.
Cindy is Cindy Hopper.
Oh, yeah, Cindy Hopper.
Cindy Hopper. All they know about me is that I like the song Nasty Girl.
Yes.
They'll be like,
Yeah.
Paige likes this song.
Paige's
Yeah.
song.
Paige's song. I've been a nasty girl.
No, they love Paige.
Yes.
They all want to go and
Fox
hug her. So,
loves
oh,
me.
my God.
Foxy's my baby.
Oh, my God.
At Boston's birthday, he was getting pissed. He was like, you come
No.
over here and hug me.
I'm holding Fox, and he's like, and I'm like, Paige, can you just take this baby for a second, please?
Absolutely. I'll take them all.
We love all of our babies.
Yeah,
All of
definitely.
them together.
Definitely. Oh, they're just so fun together. It's a lot of energy, but thank goodness for people
I mean,
like Kyler.
it is nice to have friends where your kids can be friends, and then you just kind of have that support group, and it is really nice.
Yeah.
It is nice because,
So
like,
a lot of people don't have
no,
that.
they don't. And then it's hard to, like, a huge trigger for me in friendships is how someone disciplines their kid. And, like, I feel like we all very similarly, but differently, discipline the same way. We're very much like take the child away from the situation kind
Yeah.
of thing. And I don't know, just the vibes are good. The vibes are good.
We vibing.
Another good Tuesday.
Yes, it is.
Another
Kyler, we're
happy
so happy
day.
you came. We're sorry it took us so long.
Yeah, thanks for understanding. We had to take a little break.
Yes.
We needed it.
Y'all can spot Kyler sometimes in the back of Jay's lives. He's there. Actually, he's been in a lot of videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has been in a lot of videos
Yes.
lately,
It's,
showing
it's,
it,
it's whenever he wants. Like
coming out of
Same
his
with
shell
Chris.
a little
Same
bit.
with Chris.
naturally, like people always say, "Where's Daddy Kyler? Where's Daddy Kyler?" And I'm like it is my, I would say it is my passion. It's what I want to do. Like I love that. I'm very outgoing and stuff. Kyler is too, but a little bit more reserved than I. So for me, it's natural to pick up the camera and I'm doing my own thing. And for Kyler, sometimes he's like, no, I'm
Yeah.
good. Like he's just chilling. So it's whenever he wants to, and you know, that's it.
Yeah.
But sometimes people think Kyler's so quiet and it's like, oh, Jay talks too much. And it's like, oh, trust me, this boy will talk. When
Oh
he
yeah,
has
get
to
him
say
something to drink.
yeah,
For
when,
real.
when he has to say something or whenever he wants to get something across, he will get it across. Like he's not a pushover at all, but it's just different in the personalities. But I thought to myself, imagine if we were both like at 100.
All the time.
You wouldn't
I don't
work.
think it would
No, I
flow
already told you my
necessarily.
theory on that.
You know
It
what I mean?
wouldn't
Like,
work.
It wouldn't
has
work.
to
Black
be-
cat and golden retriever.
Yeah.
You have to have it.
You know, and I think it's great. Like we have an amazing system. Like, you know, we obviously I do social media like as my second job or third job because we work full time. Obviously, I'm a dad or we're dads full time, and then I do social media as well. And so we go through our plan. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go live. This is what we're gonna do. This is the time frame, and we all know exactly what we're going to accomplish and what we're gonna do.
He supports you in that.
Well, you're part of a team.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not like you're just going live just for yourself.
And you're not live
all of
and
those
like-
things benefit
Yes.
you and your
Yeah.
family together. So like
Yes.
if you're making an income by being on social media, you're genuinely only doing it to help your families. It's not
Yeah,
like you're like
exactly.
off doing your own thing and you're like fuck you and the kids.
Yeah. But our husbands are definitely like background
Oh,
husbands.
my husband
You
would love
see
to be the
his.
spotlight.
Mine
He
would not.
wants his own platform.
Chris goes in videos and he enjoys it. He thinks it's fun, but he definitely is like my supporter behind the scenes, like always snapping pictures and videos. Yeah, Mark literally should have his own.
He really should.
He really
be
should.
hilarious.
Look at me.
No, he shouldn't. No, he shouldn't. I love y'all. No, he shouldn't.
I'm not even lying, you guys.
He wants me to edit it.
He would. He
the
would be
things-
so great. The things he say, I'm like, you should be recording your husband right now.
Immediately canceled. We're all done. We're all gone. Like, no, I just don't know whatever's gonna come out of that man's mouth.
No,
So
he's no filter.
Yeah.
Literally.
yeah, and he's 45, so there's some things we have to unlearn.
He has zero F's given.
Some jokes are just not fucking.
Can you guys imagine him as your dentist?
Yeah, literally.
wide.
No, literally the other day,
Mark
somebody
has
was
been in
like,
my mouth, so I can't imagine.
mine too.
Mark is.
Mine too.
Let's clear that up.
He's pretty
Kyler
good
went
at
to
his
go get
job,
an
isn't he?
oral examination
Yeah, he
by
did.
Mark.
Yeah, he
He's
did.
his dentist.
He did get. Yeah, he did.
Page's mouth. Otherwise,
I get free dentistry.
that's how exams are. Anyways,
It's a write-off.
guys, I love it.
Anyways, Lord.
Thank y'all for being here.
Thank you
Thank you for having us.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Happy Gay
Father's
Pride.
Day.
I tried to give them a cake. They didn't like my cake.
You got a cake?
No, I did.
We were at a restaurant.
I thought you celebrate.
We were at a restaurant,
Bitch.
and Cindy asked the lady. No, wait. We were at a restaurant.
I'm so embarrassed
at the
by this.
Cheesecake Factory.
Cynthia.
And she turns around to the waiter and says, "Excuse me, do y'all do anything for Gay Pride? Because they're gay and they're daddies." And the guy was like,
So embarrassed.
she's like, "Yeah, y'all don't do like a cake or something for Gay Pride?"
That lady looked at me like,
It was the guy.
Yeah, what
the
the-
man. Yeah.
listen, okay?
Cynthia Hoffer.
I support my friends. I woke up to people like, we're celebrating Gay Pride. I'm like, oh my God, like this is so I love a theme, you guys.
It was hilarious.
I'm
It was
crying.
hilarious.
I'm so embarrassed.
I
I
wish
thought it
that
would
I
be
would've
so
been
fun if they would have had a cheesecake that was rainbow. Are you joking?
They do have a rainbow cake.
They do
Why
have
they
a
didn't give
rainbow
it- They
cake.
should have given it to them.
Exactly.
Anyways, I support my friends. Okay, I'm proud.
I have to take this in for
We'll do it next year for Paige when she's there. Be like, "Excuse me, we're celebrating Gay Pride with my bisexual friend. Do you happen to have a cake?"
Because I'm literally crying.
Could you imagine? That is awesome.
Listen,
Cynthia.
I'm coming from a kind place. I didn't
was.
do it
It
to
was.
be mean.
Yeah,
it was.
I did not do it to embarrass
it was
them.
not
so
mean.
beautiful.
I was being
It was
yours.
very
She
adorable.
said, "You should be fucking celebrating them." Like, what do you mean you don't have a
Bring me
rainbow
some
cake?
fucking cake.
Like, look at these gay dads with 5 kids.
2024 and you don't have rainbow cake on the menu? It is fucking June.
I'm literally crying.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I think we've tried to end this like 3 times. We're just gonna keep talking and shooting
Oh my
this shit
God,
because
you
this is
guys.
how we are together.
Yes.
But
Okay.
we do have to get out of here now. We have to skedaddle, and y'all have got to go to work or wherever you're at. We hope that you're driving safe and having a wonderful Tuesday.
I'm wiping tears over here, you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Keep those
Watching?
giggles. Give me a moment, okay? As always, keep the giggles going like
Love
this.
flowing.
And until next time, Mom knows best.
Or at least she's trying her best.
And
And Dad's nose too.
bye, guys.